In the graphic novel Persepolis, Marjane Satrapi shows how the greatest danger of authoritarian power is how it becomes normalized in everyday life. When justice feels normal, people are less likely going to fight against it. This idea still matters today because governments can take away freedom little by little, and many people may not know this until it is too late. One example of normalization happens at the very beginning of Persepolis. On panel 225, page 1, Marjane and the other girls were required to wear veils at school when the revolution began. The children do not fully understand why they have to wear them. Some even play with the veils because they found it annoying. However, the government and teachers treat this truth as something completely normal. The veil becomes a symbol of control because the government is deciding how people should dress and behave. In Persepolis, the law forces women to obey strict rules, but that does not make those laws fair or ethical. Satrapi shows that authoritarian governments often control identity first, because when people are forced to look and act the same, individuality slowly dies. On page 53, panel 1-4, children pretend to torture each other as punishment if they lose a game. Satrapi shows that when fear and violence are everywhere, even young children begin seeing them as entertainment. The children copy what they hear adults and the government talk about every day. Violence becomes part of ordinary life. How does fear change moral choices? When people live in fear and propaganda, their understanding of right and wrong can slowly change. Authoritarian systems do not only control politics, they also affect the way people think and behave. On page 66, panel 1, Satrapi shows how fear and surveillance become part of daily life. People worry about being watched, judged, or punished because of breaking the rules. Because of this fear, people stop speaking honestly. They stay silent to protect themselves and their families. This is dangerous because silence will allow injustice to continue to the point where you will lose your freedom of speech and will not have the right to speak against the government anymore. The message of Persepolis still matters today. Usually changes happen slowly over time. Many people adapt without realizing how much freedom they are losing. If people stop questioning injustice, authoritarian power becomes stronger. One historical event that deserves more attention is how the North Korea regime began in 1948. Kim Il-sung promised a society where people will get free education, free healthcare, free food, and that everyone will be equal. People wanted that, so they gave up their private properties, they gave up their freedom of speech, they gave up their freedom of movement. Fast forward to the modern day, North Korea has 51 social classes based on family background and political loyalty. People in North Korea don't know what's happening outside the country or the fact that they're being oppressed. They do not have internet access at all, and as a result, their life is all they know. If you were to speak out against the government, not only you, but 3 generations of your family will be sent to labor camps or be publicly executed. In Persepolis, Marjane Satrapi shows how people slowly adapt to oppression. When justice becomes normal, resistance becomes harder. Citizens have a responsibility to notice injustice before it becomes accepted by society. Freedom can disappear slowly, one small step at a time.